a candidate to introduce themselves, and the only thing they had to say was, "My name is Ada, I'm a customer service person." There was a pause. I paused, waiting for them to say something else because I'm expecting you to say something else after that. And that was it. She never said anything. When I asked, "Is that all you have to say about yourself?" the candidate said, "Yes." Yes. Hello, welcome to Recruiter Cynthia's channel on YouTube. Right here, we talk about everything that has to do with job, career, getting a job, tailoring your CV, everything that has to do with interviews, recruiters' insights. You get to hear them, things you're doing wrong, things you're not doing wrong, how your CVs are unable to get you job, everything that just has to do with career. That is what we talk about on this page. If you're job hunting, or you intend to job hunt, or you just want to gain knowledge, for the future, for the future careers you want to apply for, this is the right channel for you. If that's something that interests you, hop onto this channel, subscribe, and join the family. Right, so enough of the introduction, let's not waste much of our time. So when it comes to the question, introduce yourself, they are not just asking you to tell your life story. All right, this is not the point where you have to start talking about your life story or start saying things that are not relevant. Like, okay, let's assume I'm the one they asked, and I'm like, okay, my name is Cynthia, I'm from Nigeria, I'm the first child of my family. It's not the point where you talk about these things. That's not what you're asking, because a lot of people do this mistake. Or you go ahead and say your name and your job title, and you think that's all. That's not all. Just like the candidate did. The candidate just said her name, which is Ada. She said, "My name is Ada, and I'm a customer success person." More like, because she was applying for a customer service role, she just said that. And when we asked, "Was that all? Like, is that all you have to say about yourself?" she said yes. She comfortably said yes. I was expecting, okay, when the question came, I was expecting her to probably say more or something. She said yes, that was all. So she was just waiting for the question, which is what most people do. That is what most people do. They just sit and wait for you to ask them questions so they answer them. Meanwhile, I've also had other candidates that once asked, "Tell us about yourself," and you hear them talk about themselves. Like, you no longer have questions to ask them. Like, have candidates like that just introduce yourself, tell us who you are. In that process, they end up answering every question you have for them. They use that opportunity to answer all the questions you have. They just use that time to sell themselves, talk about their value, talk about their experience, and everything about them that you need to know, and everything that has to do with that job, which is exactly what is expected of you. When asked, introduce yourself. You can start by saying your name. Okay, let's assume it's me. All right, my name is Cynthia. I'm a recruiter. I've been a recruiter for a while. So more of, you talk about your present, you talk about your past, and you talk about your future. That's how to put it. You talk about your present, talk about your past, and talk about your future. So when you talk about your present, your name, what you currently do, the job title you do, and how many years of experience you have already. So we like to put it like this: my name is Cynthia, I'm a recruitment coordinator. I've been a recruitment coordinator for 5 years or for 3 years. That could be your present. That could be your present introduction. Then you go into your experience, which is your past. You can start by saying, I started as a customer care person, or whatever role you're applying for, or whatever role you've done. I started as a customer service person from this company. From there, you can summarize what you did with them. There we attend to customers and this and that. From there I proceeded to working with this company. You talk about it briefly. From there, you proceeded to working with this company. If you're working with a company presently, you now talk about, "Oh, and currently I'm with these people. This is what I do for them. This is what I do for them." If you've handled a team and number of teams, you talk about them, that period. That's the period you say yourself. You talk about your present. Then the future, you can say, okay, you can bring in, telling them that this is how the role you've done before aligns with what they are looking for, or what this company is looking for. Try to know the role you're applying for, because this actually helps you a whole lot. Most times it is even better you tailor your experience and your explanation to the role that you've done that aligns perfectly with what you're looking for, so they know how exactly you align with what they are looking for. All right, so don't waste much of your time trying to say a lot of things that they do not need: your nationality, your age, how many children in your family. Some people do that, funny enough. Go ahead and focus on your experience. That introduce yourself, go ahead and focus on your experience. Sell yourself at that point. Sell yourself to the recruiters. Don't be like Ada that was just there introducing herself and talking about her job title, and that was it, and she was proud to say yes, that's all. Don't be like such person, because from the beginning you've told us you don't have anything to say about yourself and all that. So this is the place where you sell your value. You told them that you're confident, you bring about confidence. Like this, even at the point, okay, let me tell you what this happened, what this does actually. Since I'm okay, let's just say how this helps you in the course of the whole interview process. If you're able to hit this, introduce yourself very well, tell us about yourself. If you're able to say it very well, even when you're unable to answer certain questions in the interview, the fact that the interviewer already has this perspective of you, they know you can sell yourself, they know you have confidence. You are not answering all the questions might not really matter. It might not, what might count might be the ones you've properly answered. They'll be like, okay, this person understands what all this are, all right, or what this entails or what those role entails. They actually genuinely have done those role before. That's what introduce yourself helps you do. You lay the foundation to tell them that I am the best person for this job, I'm the best person for this role. Give them the, put them in a situation where there is no other question. Everything they have to ask you, you've already answered during the time you're introducing yourself. But meanwhile, I like to state this: make sure it is no more than 2 minutes. In as much as you want to sell yourself, you want to tell them what you've done or what you've been able to do, make sure it doesn't exceed 2 minutes. Put it in 2 minutes. Just round it up and make it 2 minutes. Let it not exceed 2 minutes, but be able to sell yourself. Be able to sell yourself. That is the key during this process, during this time. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself properly. Tell them about, as I said, past, present, and future. Tell them who you are. Tell them your past, your experience, and tell them how it aligns with what they are looking for. This is it. Just put this in your mind: present, past, and future. That is it. Don't go about using your whole time to talk about irrelevant things, or telling them how things does not, or okay, some people actually focus on telling them about rules. Not like you don't talk about your previous roles that does not have the same job title with what you're looking for. You talk about them but briefly, but always focus on the roles that actually align with what they are looking for. If what you're applying for does not really align with if what you're applying for currently, the roles you've done before, they don't directly have the same job title or anything, use this time to tell them how some of the skills you've acquired in your previous role is transferable to this new role. All right, so use this time to sell yourself. Don't focus on talking about experiences that you've had that does not align. You not focus on using this whole 2 minutes to talk about it. Try to sell yourself. Tell them how it aligns, so that in the process of introducing yourself, they are doing a lot of thinking, they are doing a lot of understanding. They're okay, this person is this person, all right, this person is this person, this is what this person has to offer, this is what this person can offer to us. All right, so this introduce yourself, some people overlook it. Some people think it's not really a time to talk about much. You just wait for them to ask questions and you're able to answer the questions. Some people go about practicing hundreds and hundreds of questions, and they forget about the introduce yourself, which is always the first question most interviewers come up with. Introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your experience. Some people go about, okay, tell us about your experience, they just go into it. But most times, even when they ask, tell us about your experience, because I've had candidates that ask, tell us about your experience, they're like, okay, thank you for the opportunity. They start by telling you their name before they go into the experience. Okay, I am this person. Then you talk about your experience, instead of just jumping into the experience and forget. Even though yes, they know your name, they have it on your CV. This is more like a time they want to know you other than your CV. Don't sound too robotic. That's another thing. Don't sound too robotic. Be very, very natural. Be very human. We are all humans. We understand that you know we are humans. Human tone matters because you're going to be working with people. You're going to be working with teams, some cultures, different cultures actually. So try to be as human as possible, but also be professional. All right. In as much as you're trying to be human and be, relaxed to some point, try to be very professional too. Answer your questions and align them with what you've done. Always focus on what you've done, things you can defend. Don't go and talk about things you don't know or something that you will talk about and then they will ask you question you won't be able to answer it because mind you, what you say during the time of introduce yourself brings about certain questions. I told my friend this one certain time, I'm like, introduce yourself properly, but don't inside the process of introducing yourself talk about something you do not know about or something you can't defend, because you can say one thing, just one thing during that introduce yourself part, and just that one thing will be what they will focus on to ask you a question. That might be the only focus. Probably that one thing you mentioned is something they are looking for. It's something they are looking for a candidate to have, and probably no candidate has mentioned it. You now mention it, and that thing you do not know anything about it. Tell me how that's going to work. It's not going to work. So when you're introducing yourself, make sure you talk about things, you point out things you can actually explain, things you can actually talk about more if you're asked more on it, all right, or if you're asked more questions on it, all right. So that's all I came here to say today. See you in our next video. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, comment your interview problems or things you really want us to talk about on this page, or things you want me to talk about. As a recruiter, I interview people every day. I go through CVs. If there are things that are still confusing you want us to talk about, comments, put this on the comment section. I'll be in the comment section to reply, or I can make a video of it next time. All right, that will be all for now. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications so you get to know when we post video next, so that you don't miss the next episode of video. You might not be on job hunting right now, you might not be looking for a job right now, but you might be looking for it in the future. All right, you might even end up being someone they invite to interview other candidates in your company, so you might need some of these tips to even interview people. So that will be all for now. All right, see you in our next video. Catch ya. Recruiter Cynthia says bye.